Alright guys, Super Bowl week is upon us. We have the San Francisco 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs, where we have a young and up-and-coming quarterback looking to topple a Hall of Famer in his first Super Bowl start. And on the other side, we have a Hall of Famer looking to add to his legacy, to win multiple rings like the guy they compare him to. And just like Brady stopped these guys from winning a Super Bowl, Mahomes is looking to do that to Purdy. Now we are going to discuss a couple of key things for both teams and things to worry about. Now first up are the Niners. One thing the Niners cannot do is get off to a slow start. The Niners dug themselves into a hole early on against Detroit, letting them jump out to a 24-7 lead at halftime. The Niners were very fortunate that everything went in their way in the second half. Dan Campbell going for it twice in field goal range, costing them 6 points. Josh Reynolds with some crucial drops, Jahmyr Gibbs with a huge fumble, and of course, the Ayuk catch. The Niners have clawed their way back with both their playoff games coming down to the wire. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs is definitely not a team that you would want to fall behind early on. Next up is the 49ers run defense. Last two games, the Niners run defense absolutely got ran over. The Packers rushed for 136 total yards and the Lions rushed for 182 yards. Now good news for the Niners is they won't have to deal with a 1-2 punch like Montgomery and Gibbs, but they will have to find a way to stop or slow down Isaiah Pacheco. Next, can Jake Moody be trusted? If there is one player that Niner fans think will cost them the game, it is Jake Moody. He has struggled at times this year and missed a field goal early on in the Lions game, but nobody's talking about it because the Niners won. Now, if they had lost, then people will probably be talking a lot about this kick. He missed the kick in the Vikings game that could have really helped the Niners. The Niners would have beaten the Browns if he would have made this kick. Now, if it comes down to a field goal, I'd be really nervous if I'm rooting for the Niners. Also, I'm sorry, Bills fans. I'm sure those wide right kicks bring back bad memories. You know, perhaps Jake Moody might be the Mitch Trubisky of kickers. Next up, the Niners need to blitz and get pressure on Mahomes. Earlier in the year, the Niners' front four was able to get a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, but it has slacked off quite a bit in the postseason, and they do not blitz as much. Now, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes and can absolutely make you pay with the blitz, but the Ravens in the second half of the AFC Championship started blitzing more, they started to get more pressure on Mahomes, and they held him to 0 points in the second half. Now, those are some keys and things to look out for if you're the Niners. Now, let's take a look at the Chiefs. Now, the first thing is, can the Chiefs receivers come through one more time? Now, outside of a Hardman fumble against the Bills, they've been pretty good in the playoffs. But their track record this year was costing Mahomes wins. The Chiefs led the league in drops this year, and in some of the most crucial moments with the game on the line, they would do something to lose it. The reason the Chiefs lost to the Bucs a couple of years ago was they had a case of the drops. They couldn't even catch a cold if they wanted to. So like I said, they've been good thus far, but can they do it just one more time? Now, another thing to look at is the Chiefs' run defense. The Bills carved up that Chiefs' run defense and put up a whopping 182 yards. And Gus Edwards was averaging 6.7 yards per carry before the Ravens took the ball out of his hands. And not only that, they have to go up against the best running back in the league in Christian McCaffrey, who is very versatile and can also go out and be a receiving threat. They also have to worry about Deebo Samuel on trick plays, slicing and dicing. Next thing is, the Chiefs need to jump out to an early lead. The Chiefs jumped out to a 10-0 lead against Miami and never looked back. Now, Buffalo did score first, but they didn't let them get too far ahead, and this was a back-and-forth game, which came down to the wire. Against the Ravens, the Chiefs jumped out to a 7-0 lead, and later a 17-7 lead at halftime, and held them at bay for the rest of the game. So if the Chiefs can take control early, that'll give them a good shot to win the game. Next up, the Chiefs need to take care of the ball. So in essence, the Chiefs can't be doing stuff like this. If the Chiefs lost this game, this would have been the turning point that everyone would have remembered. We all see how costly turnovers can be. Now, everyone talks about the Scantling drop from the Eagles and Chiefs game, but if Mahomes hadn't had this interception here and Kelsey this fumble, that's 6 points off the board right there. This was a game that they literally let slip through their hands. And if they want to repeat as Super Bowl champions, they can't be doing stuff like that. So those are some key things to keep an eye on for both teams. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments section down below. And let me know what you'd like to see from the team that you're rooting for. Now, for prediction-wise, I think this game will come down to the wire. But in the end, I think the Niners will prevail and get their revenge from their Super Bowl loss a couple years ago. They're hungry, they're unified, and this team has faced a lot of adversity to get to this point. Also, they have a lot of key guys that was on that team that lost to Patrick Mahomes a couple years ago. And although I don't think a Super Bowl would get rid of all the Brock Purdy hate, I do think it would shut up a lot of critics. But it would also not surprise me if this guy took home his third ring. I think this game could go either way, and I'm not solidly picking the Niners. In fact, it's more like a 51-49 thing, which is kind of ironic because the 49ers are the 51. Also, condolences to Raiders fans, as this is their worst Super Bowl matchup. If you're on TikTok, give me a follow there. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. Give me a like, share, comment, and you know the drill.